Hello everyone, Mullings from Renmere here, AKA Wicked Penman. I know this one is starting out like a song, but it's no song, trust me. Today I wanted to get into the things we take for granted. Just look around at everything that's happening at the moment, and it really should help you develop a healthier appreciation for the things we have. So I wanted to talk about it, get into it, think about all of the things that we're grateful for and the things that we take for granted. I'll start, for instance. I'm grateful for, let's start with what I take for granted. I guess what I've taken for granted this whole time is just your longevity, just how much time you have. At the beginning of the year, I did a video that was about my plans for the next decade. And I remember we got into February, and then we lost Kobe Bryant. And then it just immediately kind of shook me up because I'm like, what? There's no way Kobe can be gone so quickly. You know, like, this sounded so strange, but like there's a level of the greats and people who are in line to go before Kobe is gone. And yeah. So then I posted on Twitter. I was like, you know, here I am posting about my decade-long ambitions, and no one can ever be sure if we're even going to be here that long. Like, let's be honest. So, you know, so yeah, the first thing I've really taken for granted is my own vulnerability. Yeah, how about that? Like, this bravado that nothing could ever happen to you. Like, you should never take your health for granted, because you never know when. You know, just like the intro of One More Jam. Give thanks for every day above ground. Okay, you never know when your life will go done. Basically, give thanks for every day you have above ground, because you never know when your life is over. So, yeah, that's number one. Number two is support. You know, I was not even joking, but I was flirting with the idea of just wrapping up my company and just folding the business and just giving it all up. And I received a whole lot of messages of support from a lot of people who were just like, no, like, don't let this be the end. Like, keep on, keep going. You have a gift, share it. And I took it for granted that people were paying attention to what I was doing. Not that I've ever really done anything for people's recognition or people to go, yeah, like, he's really sick, this guy. Like, I've never really cared about that, but it was still good to know that people are there who care enough just to, you know, to take the moment or take a bit of time out of their day to make sure that, you know, I knew that what I was doing has the potential and it was already having an impact, but has the potential to help a lot more people. So I did take that for granted, and I'm really appreciative for the people that did reach out to me during that time, because I was having one of those moments where it felt like nothing was going right. And like, I know what I put into what I do, but it's like, it just felt kind of thankless and all for nothing. So that's another thing. Family and friends, it goes without saying, but times like these really do tell you who checks for you and who doesn't. You know, you only have to think about the people who you haven't heard from. So the phone hasn't rang, or they haven't returned any calls, any messages. No one's checked up on you. Like that's the thing to really think about right about now. And then think about the people that you probably have heard from, or who have checked up on you that you never thought you would hear from. This is what times like these kind of show you. And it's another thing you can't take for granted. It's the kindness and the capacity of warmth for people. And then another thing is you can't take for granted is, you know, you could be thick as thieves with some people, and then in times like these, like testing times, they're nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. You've got to be, that's another thing I myself take for granted sometimes. And then, you know, speaking as a citizen of the world, like the people that are taken for granted, doctors, teachers, nurses, you know, custodial services, you know, your refuge collection, and, you know, people that move things. And like, look at what's happening right now, and you will see that it's not the politicians that are saving us and keeping the ship afloat. It's not that. It's not it's definitely not celebrities. It's none of these people. It's the people on the ground. It's it's your market vendors, the produce, the farmers, like I said, the farmers, the teachers, the nurses, all of these people that people take, and the doctors and so on, and all these people that people take for granted. Just look around at what's been going on. These are the very people who have not given up on you and have not thrown in the towel. They've been there for you. So I hope when this is all over, whenever it is, that nobody forgets that. And it doesn't matter where in the world you live, this will apply in every country. These are the people that deserve your adulation, admiration, and everything else. Another thing I guess I take for granted myself is I'm not complacent, like I'm not lazy, but I do sometimes get to a mode where I think, you know what, because I know how much I can squeeze out of a day, that it's okay to leave things for tomorrow, a couple of days from now, next week, wherever. Fair enough, not in a destructive way, but it's just like, these are things that you don't know if next week is there. With filming and stuff for me and the weather, there are days when the weather is perfect, whereas in it looks perfect. The weather in London is never good. So and I go, well, tomorrow it will be fine. Then tomorrow it's grey and it gets and it's not quite the same, or the wind is high and so on and so forth. So it's definitely one of those things that I myself, after going through all of this, I'm learning not to take for granted that if something can be done, try and get it done immediately. If anything, you can rest afterwards. Also, I guess this is another thing I've been taking for granted. That's the ability to ground yourself, as in like really center yourself and be present in your surroundings, even when they're not ideal. I know a lot of people, they descend into worry, panic, fret, like it's a real testing time for them, because that grasp they have on their mind is anchored to so many rituals. Thankfully, I'm not really, I don't have that dependency, and I don't process in that way. So I'm able to kind of compartmentalize things, if you like, and realize that, while it's not ideal and while I can't move around as freely as possible, there are things I can do, or there are things that I can now focus on that I probably wouldn't have focused and dialed in as accurately on as I would have before, because again, it's this idea that the world is so big and there's so much to do and so many places to go and see and so on and so forth, that we forget to really understand and appreciate what's going on, like at a very minute level. So when the world is shrank the way it's shrank now, because you can't even go see your friends, you can't see, like, you're meant to just kind of stay to yourself or yourselves if you're a family. It kind of shows you that, the importance of being able to be content wherever you are and with whatever it is you have. If you don't have as much as you would like, it's still understanding that, this is temporary. And that's how I'm choosing to see this situation. It's temporary. It's very temporary. It just might be an extended temporary situation if people don't use their common sense and think about other people. There you go. There's another thing I guess I take for granted, we take for granted. It's the selfishness of certain people. You would think that people will collectively never work against their own self-interests, but they do. They just think only of what they want in that moment and no one else and nothing else, even if it will turn around to affect them all later on down the road. They don't care. So I've always tried to give the benefit of the doubt. I was even interviewed on and I was asked a question on like politics, and I was like, look, people should be able to advocate for themselves. But then when you see the way people behave when they're not, given like a direct order or the most severest language, they can't take the decision to just stay in place and play the numbers game and think of other people. They can't even do that. So yeah, like I said, the selfishness of people is something I've taken for granted because I never knew it was as bad as it. Yeah, that did shock me. And I guess, of course, food. your basic necessities like food, clothing, electricity, equipment that in my case I need a few things to be able to do what I do creatively. Like right now, I'm using an interface, my microphone, and I've got my computer on in front of me, and I'm recording directly into my computer. But it's like, and then your phone and all of this stuff. If you don't have any of these things, then wow, like how does your day, week, month, year go? It's a shame that we've become so dependent on these things, but at the same time, they do a great many things for us in making the world more accessible, making it easier to communicate and, transmit our messages over large, you could send this all around the world from your living room or your bedroom or wherever. Like, these are all things to be thankful for. And obviously food and water is like, that's what, keeps the temple clean and keeps it functioning and keeps you able to continuously do these things. So I guess it's another thing I've taken for granted along the way. And yeah, it's a really interesting time where it's like, if you use the time, I'd say no one's going to use it to the fullest of its potential, but if you use the time well, this is a time where you'll come out of this situation hopefully having gained some new skills or some new perspective or new mastery of yourself. And I guess that's what I'm choosing to focus on, because, it could happen that, let's say a month from now is when this is all over. We don't want to emerge worse than we went into the situation. We really want to try and come out a lot better, a lot more mature, a lot wiser, a lot more appreciative, not the other way around. We can't go worrying about the things that, got taken from us during that time. So yeah, I'm grateful to be here right now to put together this message, put together this content, to hopefully get this out there. I'm grateful and hopeful that this is all part of something much bigger than, you or me. So yeah, those are the things I can think of that I'm grateful for off the top of my head, or the things that I've been taking for granted. And I invite you to come up with a list of your own in the comments, and if you think there's anything or anyone that I've missed, then yeah, by all means share. Like what are the things? Yeah, I'm trying to see if I've forgotten anything else, but oh yeah, sorry. Of course, I'm grateful, and I take for granted creatives in general myself. I'm grateful for creatives because during this time, I've been reading books, I've been watching content, I've been listening to music, all of these things are the products of creative people. And again, we sometimes almost, we throw them into the celebrity, basket, and we just leave them there. We don't appreciate what goes into what they do. So that's another thing I've taken for granted. And, bless up to all the creatives out there. This time is your time, and it's our time to appreciate you as well. So thank you. But yeah, everyone, J Mullings from Written Mirror, AKA Wicked Penman, and I'm out. Oh yeah, I keep making this mistake. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell, share it with your peeps, leave some, I do all of that good stuff. Please and thanks. Have a good one. I'm out.